Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Putri Sabtani, NPM H1A021005. With my lecturer, Ma'am Wisma Yunita MPD. I'm from Medical Education Study Program Faculty of Medicine and Health Education, University of Bengkulu. I will now present an article entitled Medical Student Syndrome, a myth or a real disease entity, cross-sectional study of medical students of the Medical University of Silesia in Katowice, Poland. The material that I will present is about background, methods, aim, and result. Next. Background. The background of the student syndrome is based on the assumption that medical students are not inclined to develop a pathological network of the medical condition they are taught. The aim of this study is to examine the sample of students, medical and non-medical, in order to assess and compare their level of hypochondriacal attitudes and health anxiety. Next. Methods. Here you could describe this study used a medical student syndrome self-explanatory questionnaire that was created for this study, taking into account the specificity of the group and the research problem. Online survey questionnaire by 606 student, topic of the section. Next. Results. The results of the study showed that medical students obtained the same scores on a nosophobic scale and non-medical students P 0.5. The analysis of hypochondriacal behavior showed significantly higher results in the non-medical student group, P 0.02. In the entire study group, females and participants with mental disorders obtained higher scores in relation to nosophobia. Symptoms of depression and anxiety were more common in the group of medical students. Introduction. Exposing medical students to vast amounts of clinical knowledge about different diseases can result in searching for symptoms of disease. For besides which spread the beliefs about medical student syndrome affecting young people studying medicine have circulated in medical universities. It has been theorized about life-threatening illness during training that medically concerned with anxiety for or learning about an illness in which the fear exists in uncontrollably and persistently has a serious medical condition described as nosophobia. Exposing medicine to major medicine knowledge of different diseases can result in the one set of symptoms that affect them, worry about having a disease or an increase in minor symptoms, which can lead to self-diagnosis of certain somatic disease, a conditional called hypochondria. On the other hand, lack of knowledge and experience can lead to involves preoccupation with a network of having or the idea that a person has a serious illness based on the misinterpret misinterpretation sorry on the misinterpretation of bodily symptoms. Proper medical evaluation and assurance terms. Young medical student exposed to severe stress caused by environment, they are also more likely to suffer from depression, anxiety, and other mental disorders. Mental disorders than their peers. Is medical student illness another mental illness that is more prevalent in this population than other groups? Our aim was to assess the prevalence of hypochondria and nosophobia in groups of medical and non-medical students, and to debate the difference if any. This issue is very important because this phenomenon was described in the early 1960. Before we decided the study, we conducted interviews with participating students from across our area, where we asked them how important it is that they have a problem with illness. The medical and non-medical students focus group participants concern that there is a need to increase psychological and psychiatric support for students in our region, and that the results of the study we are planning can serve as a guide for regional and local authorities, academics to help organize how to organize and help education of young people studying at our agglomerates universities. An additional factor that we consider is the COVID-19 pandemic, which increases the general public's awareness of the possibility of contracting an illness, and also increases anxiety and depression. Next. Materials and methods. A questionnaire dedicated to medical student illnesses, a self-explanatory questionnaire was developed based on the diagnostic criteria for disease anxiety disorder. The study was conducted based on medical disease. Sorry, questionnaire that we decided and distributed among the respondents who are users of the Facebook group. As there was no questionnaire dedicated to medical student illnesses, a separate self-explanatory questionnaire was developed based on the diagnostic criteria for anxiety disorders, hypochondria, and phobias, question containing question about symptoms of hypochondria and nosophobia. Participants suspected of having a medical student's illness were expected to engage is excessive excess, excessive health related behavior and exhibit maladaptive avoidance. The medical student group consists of 313 students from all years of the medical faculty of the Medical University of Silesia at Katowice. The non-medical students cohort consists of 2,193 students of all years from various fields of academic education not related to medicine studying at a Silesian University of Technology. Silesian University in Katowice, or the University of Economics in Katowice. From the group of non-medical students, response obtained from psychology students were excluded because it was concluded that in some respect their knowledge might coincide with that of medical students. The main age was 22 years for the medical student group and 21 years for the non-medical student group. Next. Results. The analysis showed that a group of medical students and a group of non-medical students surveyed the same nosophobia results. Analysis of response to hypochondriacal behavior showed that non-medical faculty students achieved average. Despite the higher scores on the nosophobia potential scale in the group of medical students who scored a mean 2,100 12,000. This difference compared to non-medical students with an average of 12,300 points. Was not statistically significant. The analysis presented shows that group of medical students and a group of non-medical students achieved similar nosophobia results. Analyzing of response to hypochondriacal behavior showed that non-medical faculty students achieve average 13 13,000 points, compared with medical students, which is a much higher result. However, the strength of the effect zone is weak. The analysis was carried of both on the answer study group and on the subgroups of medical and non-medical faculty students. Analysis of difference using the students test for independent on the level of symptoms of hypochondria and nosophobia between medical and non-medical students. Next, conclusion. Medical studies are not a risk factor for the occurrence of health anxiety and hypochondriacal attitudes. Such factors are female gender and having a mental illness. The findings of our study challenge the widespread belief that medical students, compared to their peers, are overly anxious about their own health. Among students from non-medical university in Katowice, the percentage of individuals showing susceptibility to hypochondria and nosophobia symptoms is high compared to the students of medicine. Women and students resolving treatment for other psychiatric disease are characterized by greater fear for their resolving treatment or psychiatric disease are characterized by greater fear for their own health. The prevalence of depression and anxiety disorders in the population of Silesian police students seems to significant, and therefore there is a greater need for further research in this area. This is alternative research. Thank you for attention. Thank you for listening to my short presentation. More or less, I apologize. Thank you for attention and stay healthy. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye.